Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Next.
Maharaj,
Yes.
is opulence, money, an indication that Krishna is being pleased or served properly in a temple if there is money and many devotees and so on?
That is not criterion, money is not criterion. And if by Krishna's wish money is also utilized in the service, that also may be. But that is not the only criterion. Even Sanatana Goswami, when putting to Radha Madan Mohan only quantity of atta, and only putting into the fire, and he is offering to that and taking it. Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna does not accept anything material. But what the devotee offers him with his own earnestness, that earnestness is taken by Krishna, the Bhavagrahi. He is Chetan, and he is spiritual. And the spiritual element that in worshipper, what he gets by the offerings, Krishna takes that, his inner tendency is accepted by him, not the outside. There is a tale that there was one devotee in Puri, Madhav Das. He was a man, he was a devotee of Sokha Rasa. So much so that we are told one day, Jagannath says, Madhav, I shall go to steal jackfruit from the garden of particular panda. You have to follow me. What is this, my lord, your pastimes? All right, what you have, I must carry out. Then that night, taking Madhav, he has come, entered the garden of jackfruit, and Krishna went up the tree, and he is snatching, and fell. And there was sound, the panda came out. Who is that stealing my fruit, jackfruit? Krishna leaving his overcloth in the branch, he ran away, jumped and ran away. And the man found this Madhav. Oh, you are that Satan, huh? At daytime, you sit by the side of a road and beg. You are a big sadhu. And at night you have come to steal my jackfruit. Get a good beating. Then what? Krishna took me. Krishna took me, Jagannath took me. Jagannath came to steal with you. You fool. You want to convince me that there is his feet, you see. Oh, you have stolen also the overcloth of Jagannath. You have stolen and put there, and you want to befool me. That was taken, and with both took him to the king, and of course good beating. Then Jagannath gave dream to king as well as to the leader of the priest. There I went with Madhava to steal jackfruit, and Madhava is beaten, and I have taken all those beating in my body, and please arrange to apply some medicine on my body. Then there was a great upset. Madhav is really such a devotee. Jagannath himself giving dream both simultaneous to the king as the leader of the Pandavas. Then Madhav left the place, went to Vrindavan. Now people will throng to see me that I am such a high devotee. I want to be able to tolerate all this. He went there. And it is told, written in Bhaktamal, that Madhav, when collecting some this fried gram, he offered it to Banku Bihari, their temple, and he took himself. And Banku Bihari is, of course, Devi worship, that arrangement, the bhog, rag, everything. But at that time, the servitor of Banku Bihari, he was of a high type, and he could feel Banku Bihari his satisfaction after bhog. That day, he says that Banku Bihari, his place is not very peaceful. He has not taken anything, it seems. Then he told, I must have had some flaw. So again, we prepared new bhog and again placed. Then also, after some short time, he removed, he came to see the face of the deity and found uneasy. The deity is uneasy. So he began to cry. I am so sinful, my things are not being accepted, my Lord. Why, my Lord, what is this? What shall I do? He fasted, I can't eat. I can't take prasadam. When I feel that Banku Bihari did not touch it, then without taking food, he is lying on the bed, and in his coma he sees that Banku Bihari told that it is not your fault, but mine. I do not feel well. I feel sick. That Madhav, my devotee, has come from Puri, and he has offered me that chana, that fried gram. And I took that in such quantity that I can't eat anything. The full belly I took, and I felt sick. So external grandeur is no criteria. Only fried gram, that may cause so much pity that he becomes sick. Bhavagrahi janardana. Bhavagrahi. There is another story that of that mongoose in Rajshiya Yajna. The mongoose only rolled in a pot where a Brahmin was fed at the time of Durviksha. So much degree of sacrifice was only perhaps rice or bread or 2 or 3 shares. But the degree of sacrifice was great. And in the Rajshiya, so many collection, mass collection from the kings, and a big yajna, gorgeous Rajasik. So Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, the yajna of 3 kinds in this world. Anyhow, devotion is profitable for the Lord. Prem, Lord is fond of prem, not an external grandeur. Rather, grandeur may go on to little extent in Vaikuntha. In Vrindavan especially, they are all subterranean, not fond of any gorgeousness, plainless, simple, and the prem, devotion, love, sacrifice, affinity, surrender. That are the wealth admired in Vrindavan, especially. So what's the time?
10:45.
Huh?
10:45.
I like to eat.
Yeah. Jayam Vishnu
Bhakti Siddhanta Sri Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai. Krishna ki jai. Gaur Hari Gaur Akaram Maharaj.
Gita, the verse where they say they are seated on the machine made of material
In
energy.
Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam, Yantarudhani Maya. But the Christians say,
They say God is telling me to act. God is directing me.
Vasudeva Paramatma. That is like Paramatma. And still he is active. So not hazy, not non-differentiated. Ishvara Sarvabhutaram Siddhi Dhnutistati as Paramatma. I am residing at the heart of everyone, and I help him as much as possible, keeping his freedom. Without interfering with his freedom, I try to guide him in a passive way. I dictate, don't do this, do that. He may care or may not care. I don't assert myself. Only in a passive way, I give direction. Sometimes he may catch, sometimes he may ignore. But I am there. I am everywhere. I am everywhere. There is not a place where I am not. I am everywhere. And I am in his heart also. And I am giving dictation also. Sometimes he can catch, sometimes he can't catch, but I am there doing my duty as much as possible. The tree is there, the soul of the tree is also there, but it is so much engrossed with ignorance that it is very difficult to trace my dictation there, but still I am there, I am doing my function. Otherwise, he won't have any possibility to come back from that worst position.
then the Christians will say, but we are following, like in your Gita, it says he is in the heart directing, so we are following, that's why we are Christians. They will defend themselves. We are following.
Well, our difference is about the prospect. What you say, what you are giving your program is limited. As indicated only one birth, and outside human beings, no other souls. So we kill animals, trees, the reaction thereby is not in your calculation. And also you give some conception of treason but that is not fully differentiated in a scientific way, as we find in Gita and Bhagavatam. Akila Rasamasi is Ras, is Anandam, but what sort of Anandam? Ananda is analyzed in different way, all these details absent, and the vague representation. And the primary study of the primary school, we don't deny that it is nothing, it is something, but not a fully differentiated thing. It has got also necessity for a particular section. Duki Babaya Mishamuddhasi Parakvada Vidu Yung Bala Namunasasam. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has also given position to that to that particular country, particular sect, that sort of amount couching in that dress, it was necessary for the primary students. It was there, it has been. That is also revealed truth. But considering the space and time and the people, that couched in that way it was delivered there. But there is theism. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur.
We understand from Srimad Bhagavatam that there's three states of consciousness. The wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. If you could explain to me, Maharaj, what's the position of the Atma, the soul, in these different states?
In Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand there are three states of consciousness: wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. So, in these three stages, what is the position of the Atma?
Sleep, that is dream.
Sleep.
Deep sleep without dream. And deep sleep and the sleep and
Wakefulness.
wakefulness. What is the position of Atma?
Yes, in those states.
Deep sleep, the whole negative engagement of the Atma stopped. And in dream, that is limited and less intense. And when we are wakeful to this false identification of the world, then we are in full negative, fullest negative connection with the fullest conception of negative idea. And deep sleep, withdrawal from the negative side. And in dream, half not so much intense, but less intense. In the dream also, these material experiences reflected in the mental plane. That we find. And very rarely we can find in dream the reflection of the upper world, Chit Vilas, in very rare cases. When the worldly experience has become very thin and some Sukriti that our we gather unconsciously is some connection of the supernatural power, then also sometimes in dream we can feel some supernatural incident. And when it is more intensely connected, then in our wakeful stage also sometimes we may have catch the reflection of the supernatural things sometimes. Sometimes the flash may come from the super subject area, come down to the plane, pushing aside our the energy of experience of this world that comes down and flash encircles me. It is also possible in very rare cases. But generally, when fully awake, we are fully connected with the negative side, engrossed, full self captured. And dream less powerful, but we are captured there with mundane things, but it is weak and then big. And in soundless and in dreamless sleep, sound sleep, we almost withdraw from the negative side, but no practical participation of the positive. In the margin and abscissa we remain. We come to Brahma, we draw to the near the cause but not conscious of the cause. We drawn from the negative but no conception of the positive. We faint there, in Swami Maharaj's language. We faint there. To that standard, our consciousness comes very faint. In Sushupti, in Brahmaloka, we faint there. Everything is relative. Our experience is all relative. A big sound we cannot hear. Small also we cannot hear. Only in limited area our ear can work. Eye also. The dazzling light we can't see. And the very meager we can't see. Only in the middle standard we can work. So many things, but our inner capacity cannot catch them. In a limited period position we have to live and move. Even a bird can see more than a human being, can know more. You see, the storm will come, and so many birds that can know. The flood is coming, so many insects, worms can know that, but human beings can't. The knowledge, the intuitive knowledge, that is also put in a cell. Everything is put in a cell. Within that he is to work. So, what was the question?
What is the position of the Atma in this
Yes, Atma is a dream. In limited area, we live and move. In other, we faint. That is like Janisha Sarvabhutanam, Tasyang Yagati Samyami, Jasyang Yaggati Bhutani, Sanisha Pashyatu Mune. We are awake somewhere and we are sleeping in somewhere else. And one who is waking there, we are sleeping there, we are fainted. There are so many objective and the super subjective realm where we all sleep, a dreamless sleep. And there are so many there, others there, wakeful in that plane, but they are sleeping perhaps here. Ahami sab Khetagam
Chapimam vidhi.
Khetagam chapimang vidhi sarva khetreshu bharata. Only I am wakeful to all planes possible. But others, their consciousness in a limited area. I alone is wakeful in all planes of life, everywhere, only I. Khetagam chapimang vidhi sarva khetreshu bharata. But others, they are wakeful in a limited area. Wakefulness is the nature of Khetagam, that is soul, but within limitation. But unlimited conception of everything, anything and everything, only myself alone.
Maharaj, does this mean that the more or less negative the position of the soul is, the more Krishna conscious the soul is?
Does it mean that the less negative engagement the soul has, more when there's less negative engagement, does that mean he is more Krishna conscious? When the soul has got less and less negative side, does it mean he is more and more Krishna conscious?
Not necessarily. Negative as a whole. Then, if he has any conception at all, withdrawal from the negative, then dreamless slumber. That is Brahma conception. And then, without negative, some positive conception arises, this Shiva Loka, then Vaikuntha Loka, it may be partial, it may not go to reach to Krishna consciousness also. There are so many stages of consciousness on the way to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is supposed to be the highest quality consciousness. It is showed from different way by scientific methods.
Well, if that was the case, then simply by sleeping everybody would be Krishna conscious. If that was the case, then simply by sleeping everybody would be Krishna conscious.
There is no conscious. Sleeping, deep sleep means no conscious. But maybe by abstraction we may think that eliminated of the negative, he's come to the positive, but he has got wealth within the floor. He is moving. He is sitting on the wealth, but it is underground. No idea. It is Brahma, nearest to Brahma. Is in the middle. This side Brahma, this side world, but unconscious of both the things. Both sides, unconscious of both sides. Negatives, but not actually, if we calculate more accurately, the next time he will be wakeful and he will come in the negative side. So negative tendency is also dormant in him. He is near the negative, but not in its expressive condition, only very dormant is there. The next moment he will, when the equilibrium will be disturbed, and then we will find he has come in this body. So that is near him, actually.
So what of the sloka, bhakti parishanu bhavo viraktir anyatra tyat?
Kala, Vajdamanasya Jadasnata Tushti Pushti Kudavadi. The realization proper will gradually take us to that land, to that plane. Bhakti means serving tendency. Person who have some sort of conception of the subjective world, superseding my subject on the other side, there is some world. Parishanubhav. Aranyatta Virakti, that discussed with the stale experience of this world, apathy, disgust. Parishan, Unnatta Virakti, this negative side has no charm, loses its charm. And the positive side, he gets some peep into the positive world and the super subjective. And the splendid bhakti means his attention towards the positive grows more and more. More he finds energetic to have experience of the super subjective. Parishanubhava. And if in a general healthy way he is utilizing his energy, and then gradually he will make advance towards the higher realm and to withdraw from the lower objective world, the sense experience, the world of sense experience. Not only the world of sense experience, even the sense, the body, the mind, the intelligence also that is applied in the case of negative side, all will be trash, unnecessary, undesirable, enemy-like to him. He will be very eager to get out of this. The whole system, the bad government, and that is a system there. The judge, the magistrate, the police, everything. If the government is bad, then the whole cell would be undesirable, even the judges. So buddhi to be also rejected, because that abides by the laws which is not good servant of the law. The whole cell will be abolished, undesirable. Whole system on the negative side, undesirable and hateful. And I find more sweetness into the subjective world, though apparently it is of serving, not of making, not lord it over, not mastery, but serving. Still, that will be tasteful, because the company is so congenial. To give up freedom to the congenial company, that should be thought very, very desirable. It's better to serve in heaven than to reign in hell. Just the opposite. Satan told, it is better to reign in heaven than to serve in heaven.
No, better to reign in hell than serve in heaven.
Reign in hell, and that was satanic. And we take the opposite. Better to serve in heaven than to reign in hell. This is hell. The world of experience through these mundane senses, mundane world of enjoyment. This enjoyment is reactionary, it is alone, this is undesirable. This is a prey to janma mrityu jara vyadhi, so this is undesirable. Not to reign, better to serve in a land where normal production is than to be a king of the desert. To be master of a desert, this is the apathetic forces of desert which come and burn me. rather to get a service in a land of opulence. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol.
Maharaj,
Yes.
earlier on you were speaking about Paramatma, and you referred to the Paramatma as Nirvishesh, and yet we always see the Paramatma depicted as a personality. Can you clarify the point a little bit more? Who is Paramatma?
What do you say? Paramatma?
He said he thought he heard you say that Paramatma was Nirvishesh. So we generally think of Paramatma as a person.
Paramatma is person, but generally when they approach, the personality cannot be Paramatma, and the Brahma is a Brahma Pur, Brahma Parabrahma. Deeper vision and a proper vision, everything is person. But from a hazy vision, it is not found as person. But some dictative voice, something like some dictation coming, just like intelligence, Paramatma. And just like a higher form of spark. Our soul is a spark, like consciousness, atomic consciousness, and super quality spark within the spark of soul. Something like in the beginning, Paramatma is seemed like that. But it can dictate. Soul can also dictate something assertive, soul. But because tatastha marginal, no developed, not developed condition, but it has got the capacity of taking initiative. And Paramatma is part of a perfect understanding. What Paramatma gives suggestion, that is perfect, connecting with perfect thing, not infallible, but gives tendency or free choice, not infallible, it may be fallible. But it is also a spark, that is also a spark in the beginning. But whatever, the Chetan means that everything has got a form. The smallest and the biggest. In the first view, the form may not be conceived, may not come within the range of conception, the form. But in closer vision, everything has got its form. You find form in that way, form in that plane. Light also may be analyzed, different constituent points, and every point has got a peculiarity. Combined, they produces something. So everything, the air, ether, everything, they can be analyzed and combined. So their form is not just as the measurement of a solid is not exactly so as the measurement of the liquid. And the measurement of electricity is not same as the measurement of the liquid. So their form according to their own position, but form is there. In other words, the one point can be separated from another, recognized as separate from another unit. In this sense, everything has got form. So in Paramatma, if we find more definitely, we will find that there is Vasudeva, personality. What is Vasudeva? Who is connected with the smallest and the biggest. The biggest is also within him. The smallest also he is entering and living. That is Vasudeva. Who can accommodate everything in him. Atma kukhi madhye sadvan vasayati. And who is living within everything. He is existing, maintaining his existence everywhere, within everything and outside everything. That is Vasudeva. That characteristic we can find there. And then we find that he is Vasudeva, he is person, because he is consciousness. Consciousness without personality, it cannot exist. Consciousness means person. Every unit of consciousness is also person, and the whole consciousness is also person. Person. Personal characteristic means he wants to enjoy, bhog, satisfaction. He has a satisfaction. Everything for him. Hegel's philosophy. The reality is by itself and for itself. Everything is for him. That is the test of personal existence. He is the absolute enjoyer. Everything is meant to satisfy him. That is the criterion of personality. Do you follow? Not clear. Any question of any part? Where do you want to put more questions? In what part?
I found it difficult to follow.
Huh?
You gave an analogy of form, electricity and liquid.
Form?
Forms.
Yes.
According to
Liquid also its form. Everything has got its form in different way. The electric unit, its form, and the stone unit form would be different. If stone is analyzed, the smallest part, and if a flame is analyzed, fire, or the sun ray, if it is analyzed, their nature will be different. But still they should have got their respective nature and parichaya, his acquaintance, by their peculiar form. Form in their own way. So Jiva Chaitanya have got their special form, Atma. If we can understand the differences in the formation of different types of gross things, then we can draw it to the original side. The Jiva soul have got their form. Ghosts also got their form. Light's form is different. Here is one candle, you light another candle. One light, one ray is mixing through another ray. The water also, one glass of water, another water mixed. One enters into another. But still they will maintain their own form. Mixed, unmixed.
Jiva and Chaitanya have the same form.
The form, one candle removed, the light becomes diminished, intensity becomes less. But and when again the candle taken here, the intensity increases. But the light has some intensity added to it and withdrawn, its form is gone away. So in soul also such, in consciousness. Not this form should be thrust there. Form. The ghost has got, can take any form, many forms the ghost can take. But still it has got its peculiar form. It cannot use the capacity or power of a god. The ghost power, the ghost's capacity is limited to that of the gods in this way. Limitation of power, capacity, duty, all these things. So apani padu javanu grihita. He has not a leg, he has not eye, he has not ear, he can see, he can hear, he can run, all these things. Not like this material form, but form he has got, he can see. Everything represents, as in mind also. Mind can see, mind can hear, mind can touch. It is central. It can do anything. But still, the mental seeing and the mental hearing is different. Mental ear and the mental eye is different. But on the whole, the mind can see, mind non-differentiated one. Mind can see, mind can hear, mind can touch. In dream, but mind has eye, mind has ear. But that is not of this physical type. This you can drag on. It is and it is not harmonized.
All right. You were saying earlier that in the beginning, early in devotional service, we may be attracted by the sublime nature of spiritual consciousness. But at the same time, as beginners in devotional service, and especially with our backgrounds coming from very degraded conditions of life, sometimes even in pursuit of devotional service, we're affected by these lower qualities. How can we come to a position very quickly of being undisturbed by material things?
He says, in the beginning of devotional service, we may be attracted by the sublime quality of devotional service. But because we are very low born, our background is very degraded, then sometimes again we are attracted to degraded things. So how can we very quickly cut that and advance into the pure platform?
That is the renowned thing, by association. By association, when my system is under disease. Sometimes even taking medicine also I can't help my physical health. we are recommended by the doctors to go to some, to change the atmosphere. Unconsciously, some medicine type things will enter me through the air, through the food, the water. In this way, my health will improve. So something like that. The association, the living association, that is the sadhu, by his company, by talks, by various other connections, even without any physical cooperation, only living by the side, his mental or spiritual Atma will emit some power outside, and I will invite that, my Atma, and will improve. So sadhu and the Shastra. If we try, we may not understand fully, but still, the Shastra, the holy books, if I try to understand their meaning, that will also contribute something to improve my health. In this way, the unnati, our improvement depends on the environment, and that environment, sadhu and the Shastra, always. The external help I need, that means I am in want. Then some external help is necessary to improve my condition, and which can help when I am wanting in something, and where it is, if I keep myself in his company, it will be transmitted in me, and my condition will be improved. Sadhu, I am lacking in particular form of energy, and that form of energy is where that sadhu's company will help me, will give me more and more strength and health. The general thing, always to improve one's own condition, the favorable environment is necessary. Favorable environment. That is the association of the living source of sadhu, and if it is not possible, not available, then holy books I shall try to keep company of. In all cases, this should be applied. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya has given us one verse, Chaita Dharpana Marjanam, the process of cleaning the heart. We're preaching in the Western countries, which is very contaminating, and sometimes it seems that we're cleaning and also picking up particles of dust. So it seems like we're cleaning, but sometimes getting dirty again, and going on like this, cleaning and getting muddy, cleaning and dirty. So, if you could please explain how we can stay clean on the transcendental platform, aloof from any dirt. Seems very difficult.
But there is that
It's
when
Mahaprabhu
you
told,
take the name, it is cleansed, and again it is covered with dust.
because when we do prachar in our countries, so much bad atmosphere that again we get dirty. But we want to know how to stay always clean
So,
at every time.
that is our connection with the higher, that must always be kept. It is possible that when suppose I am going to North in area, epidemic area, I am going to nurse. And the poison from the patients will come to attack me, so I must have some infective things. I have my good health, and that the poison, the bacilli may not enter into. I must take precaution. I should get help who has sent me to relief work. I must get all those equipments and precautionary medicine and the food that I may struggle in the epidemic area and can help them. Do you find? Do you follow?
Yes.
I must have my own protection from the higher. Then I shall venture to attend the relief work, because it is quite natural that the bacilli of the epidemic area, cholera, then this raki, anything, the poisonous germs will attack me. I must have to take some precaution. And who has engaged to that area, I must get must have some guarantee of that provision, and then I shall go. So that means Vaishnava Anugatya. Under the direction of a Vaishnava, direction of a sadhu guru, we shall go, take that risk, not disconnected. Then we shall die. The Namaparad, the Ashraddhani Namadam. There is no Shraddha, no health, I am going to give health there. So it is risky. So I must have some strong backing so that I can work, I can help them. Otherwise I will be lost. 10 offenses against the name. The one is Ashraddhani Namada. One powerful, he can take the risk. But who is weak in health, who may be attacked by the germs, he must take protection, enough, necessary protection, and then he will take the work. And who has got that the supernatural name has got in him, is decent in his heart, that is enough. He can do. And no field will come to cover it again. He will be able to drive away all the germs that will come to attack him. But if it is not so, he must have help from the upper house. Gold, Hari, gold, Hari, gold, Hari, gold, Hari, Jai, gold, Hari, gold. Jai, gold, Hari, gold. What's the time?
9:30.
I'd like to stop here.
Jai Vishnupad
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai.
Bhakti Rakha
Shiva Desi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shiva Bhakta Binda ki jai.